Well, hello there. Happy Thursday. Gobbles and giggles to you. I'm Turkey Legster, and you are watching another episode of the Once Upon a Turkey Leg. It's episode 53. Today is Thursday, the 2nd of March, 2023. And I hope you're having a great Thursday. Hope you're having a great week. Welcome to March. Seems like the first 2 months of the year just went quick. But anyway, here's to a great month. I hope it's not burning hot where you are. Where I'm at, we've got a high of 91 tomorrow, 90 on Saturday. We'll be 84 on Sunday. We'll be 81 on Monday. But we already had, I don't know. I just hope it's not hot where you are right now. Florida seems to not understand what winter is. Anyway, tonight I am going to be continuing reading The Mandalorian, Volume 1. I'll be doing that in a minute. Gotta show you, though, a couple of the Mandalorian themed things. I got this little magnet at the store at Publix a couple years ago. They had this there. And I got it. It's a magnet. So I got it. Very fun little trinket. Now the other day, I showed this on a stream, and I got a magic towel. It's the little things that you put in water, and then they expand. So I put this one in water, and this is what I end up with. This fun little Grogu and Mandalorian there. So that's a lot of fun. This is just from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. So it's a fun little thing. All right. Well, with that, I will go ahead and start the reading of, oh, Tina, yeah, I know it's not going to be hot where you are. I don't mind it being warm. I just don't want it hot. I want like the 80, around 80. I don't want, I don't know. So anyway, last week I started this book and I read the first half of it, and I stopped right after Mando and Grogu help some villagers fight off the some raiders in a fishing village I'm trying to find it. Hold on. There was a planet. I forget the name of the planet. They helped the fishing villagers along with Cara Dune to fight off these raiders, and they won. And that's where we left off. So I'm going to pick up the second part of this book now after them winning against the Raiders. So the next morning, the Mandalorian watched the child playing happily with the other children. He asked Omera, a woman in the village, if she would take care of the child if Mando left him there. She agreed. But as Mando prepared to leave, Cara Dune found and killed a bounty hunter. The bounty hunter had been there looking for the child. Mando realized that it was too dangerous to leave the child behind. They had to stay together. Hey, Diana, welcome in. Here is the child. Mando and the child took off once again in the Razor Crest. Some time later, another ship fired on them. An alarm went off, and the Razor Crest lost power. Mando needed to land fast. Mando touched down on a planet called Tatooine. After hiding the child on board, he walked off the Razor Crest. In the hangar, he found a mechanic named Peli Motto. Peli examined the ship. "Look at that! This is a mess," she said. "That's gonna set you back." "Oh, that's gonna set you back." "I'll get you your money," Mando said. Before Peli Motto could get to work on the Razor Crest, its ramp lowered, and the child walked out. Peli picked up the child. "Did that bounty hunter leave you all alone in that big, nasty ship?" she asked. Despite herself, Peli felt drawn to the child. She decided to look after him until Mando returned. Across town, Mando entered a cantina looking for a job, but it seemed there was no work to be found. Just then a man called out to Mando, "If you're looking for work, have a seat, my friend." The man's name was Toro Calican. He was a bounty hunter, too. Toro was tracking an assassin by the name of Fennec Shand. Fennec was well known for being as smart as she was deadly. Mando knew it was a dangerous job, but he had no choice. He needed money to fix his ship. Soon the two were on their way across the desert to find Fennec. Hey Dave, welcome in, Space Mountain Dave. Great to see you tonight. Happy Thursday. And Jennifer, welcome. Hello, how are you? Oh, is this all right? Okay. From a high ridge in the desert, Fennec watched the two bounty hunters approach. As they drew closer, she fired at them, but the blast bounced off the Mandalorian's Beskar armor. Mando needed a plan. He decided to wait Fennec out. As night fell, Mando and Toro snuck up on the assassin. They captured her, but Fennec was as smart as her reputation said. When Mando left to get transportation, she convinced Toro that bringing in Mando would be worth a lot more money than she would. And that's Toro. Toro, the guy. Toro was smart too. He shot Fennec and then raced back to town. The Mandalorian found him a short time later with Pelimato and the child. Tori wanted to bring Mando in and was using Peli and the child as hostages. Mando knew he had no choice. He fired at Toro, who fell to the ground. Here is Toro with Peli and the child. Mando took Toro's credits and handed them to Peli. She had fixed the Razor Crest. It was time for Mando and the child to move on. Mando piloted the ship to a small space station. There he found an old ally, Ranzar Malk. Ran needed help with a job, and Mando needed money. Ran introduced Mando to his crew, Mayfield, Berg, Zion, and Zero. They would be working together to free one of their teammates from a New Republic prison ship. The crew easily broke into the prison ship. They looked in cell after cell, but they could not find the prisoner they were seeking. They would need to go to the control room. But when they got there, they found a problem. A human guard. The ship was supposed to be staffed only by droids. The guard activated a tracker, alerting the New Republic to trouble on board. Darn humans always get in the way. The crew had to act fast. They only had 20 minutes before the New Republic's attack team arrived and blew up the ship. They quickly made their way to their teammate's cell, fighting security droids on their way. There they found Keen, Zan's brother. The crew released Keen, but they were not so generous to the Mandalorian. They shoved him into Keen's cell and locked him inside. Mando lured over a security droid and used it to open his cell. Then he raced back to his ship and flew off, leaving everyone but Keen behind. He needed Keen so he could get the reward. Mando delivered Keen to Ranzar on the space station. But as Mando flew away, Keen found the tracker from the prison ship in his pocket. The Mandalorian had planted it on him. The New Republic attack ships followed the tracker and blew up Rand's space station. Mando knew he could not keep running. The only way to keep the child safe for good was to get rid of the client. He made a deal with Greef Karga, then asked Cara Dune for help. She agreed, and together they traveled to Arvala 7. When they arrived, Mando found Kuiil with IG-11, the droid that had been programmed to kill the child. Kuiil had reprogrammed IG-11 to be a nurse droid. IG-11 vowed to protect the child. So there's the top there, that's Cara Dune. And then there is IG-11 with Kuil. Mando explained that he needed Kuil to care for the child while the others dealt with the client. Kuil agreed, and the group flew to Navarro. Grief and his men were waiting when they arrived. As the group traveled together to meet the client, they were attacked by fierce beasts. Mando and his friends defeated the creatures, but Grief was badly injured in the battle. As Cara and Mando tended to Grief, the child approached. He put a tiny hand on Grief, and with great concentration, he began to heal the man. Cara, Grief, and Kuil watched, stunned. They realized that the Mandalorian was right. The child had to be protected at all costs. The next morning, 2 of Grief's men tried to turn on them, but Grief killed them first. The plan was to kill you and take the kid, he confessed to Mando. But after what happened last night, I couldn't go through with it. The Mandalorian decided to send Kuil and the child back to the Razor Crest, where IG-11 waited. Then Mando, Grief, and Cara left to meet the client. They made the client think they had the child with them. He was eager to see the child again. But just as he was about to discover that the child was not there, the room exploded with blaster fire, and the client fell to the ground. The client's superior, Moff Gideon, had arrived with an army of stormtroopers. Gideon offered Mando an ultimatum: give him the child or die. Elsewhere, Moff Gideon's scout troopers had gotten to Kuil before he could reach the Razor Crest. He had been killed, and the child had been taken. But IG-11 had been true to its new programming. The droid had gotten the child back, protecting him at any cost. There is IG-11. There is the child. Now it was taking the child back to Mando. The droid and the child zoomed into town on a speeder bike. Hi, Don, the Hitchhiking Bones, welcome in. Rising moons. At last, IG-11 arrived with the child. Mando, Cara, and Grief raced outside while IG-11 fought the stormtroopers. They tried to help IG-11, but Mando was injured in the battle. They retreated back inside the building. IG-11 set to work opening a grate that led to the sewers and freedom. But before they could escape, Moff Gideon's incinerator trooper entered with a flamethrower. Fire filled the room. The child stepped forward. Raising his hand, he forced the flames out of the room, back onto the stormtrooper. The way was clear, but Mando was too injured to move. While the others went on, he and IG-11 stayed behind. IG-11 removed Mando's helmet and treated his wounds. Once Mando could walk, he and IG-11 followed the others into the sewers. Soon the group found their way to the armorer. All around her lay pieces of Mandalorian armor. The other Mandalorians had been hunted by the Empire for helping. The other Mandalorians had been hunted by the Empire for helping Mando. I don't know, Don. I think they sell that at check your local CVS, aisle 7. I don't know. The armorer asked to see the child. By creed, it is in your care, the armorer told Mando, until it is of age or reunited with its own kind. You are as its father. The armorer gave the Mandalorian a jetpack and a special signet on his armor. Then she pointed the group toward the lava river. They followed the armorer's directions and found a boat waiting on the lava river. The group climbed aboard and made their way downstream. Just outside the sewer tunnel, Mando saw an army of stormtroopers waiting for them. There was no way out. IG-11 stepped forward. I will eliminate the enemy, it said. The droid walked on into the lava river and made its way toward the waiting stormtroopers. Manufacturer's protocol dictates I cannot be captured, IG-11 said when it reached the stormtroopers. I must be destroyed. IG-11 activated its self-destruct function and blew itself up along with the stormtroopers. Oh, it's okay. As the boat moved into the sunlight, the Mandalorians saw that all the stormtroopers had been defeated. IG-11 had saved them. Suddenly, there was a loud noise overhead. It was Moff Gideon in an Imperial TIE fighter. He started firing on Mando and his friends. Firing up his jetpack, Mando flew into the air. He landed on top of the TIE fighter and planted an explosive charge. The charge blew and the TIE spiraled out of control, crashing to the ground. With Moff Gideon and the client gone, the child was at last safe. But Mando's journey with him was only the beginning. He needed to find the child's family and return him home. notification. Okay. Take care of this little one, Kara said. Or maybe, Grief added, it'll take care of you. Mando nodded and activated its jetpack. It was time to go home. He and the child shot into the air. Not far away, the Jawas gathered around the fallen TIE fighter to strip it for parts. Suddenly, a blade cut through the side of the ship. Out stepped Moff Gideon, wielding the dark saber, a legendary black lightsaber. Gideon looked out over the remains of his ship. Mando was gone, but Gideon would find him. This is them talking. And then there is Moff Gideon. On board the Razor Crest, Mando looked at the child, who was holding something in his hand. It was a necklace, the Mandalorian's necklace. Mando had given it to Kara when he was injured, and thought he would not survive. I didn't think I'd see this again, Mando said. Then, giving it back to the child, he added, why don't you hang on to that? And with that, Mando lifted off. He had a galaxy to explore, and a child to return to his family. This is the way. And that is the end of The Mandalorian Volume 1. And that's it for this part of the story. Hope you enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I looked and there is not a volume 2 of this. Hopefully that will change in time. But anywho, that's right. Dean has spoken. Oh, you're welcome, Diana. And yeah. So anyway, so yesterday, the first episode of the the third season launched on Disney Plus, and I won't give any spoilers, but I watched it and I enjoyed it very much. If you have not watched it and you are or have been a Mandalorian fan, I recommend immensely that you watch it. The season is off to a very good start. It is, I'd say, it's what you'd expect speed-wise out of a first episode of a season, but it has got some funny parts in it. It's got some good action parts. I think they did a pretty good well of balancing the action, even though it very much is a setup for the rest of the season. But you see plenty of the child and the Mandalorian there, and so I recommend, if you watch this video, watch this stream, I do recommend you check out The Mandalorian Season 3 on Disney Plus. Yes, it was It was very good, Jennifer. Very good. Yes. No spoilers. So if I talk anymore, I'm going to start giving spoilers. That's all I am going to say. Well, with that, I am going to wrap up the stream tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. If you're watching live or on the replay, thank you so much. If you are watching on the replay, let me know below that you watched. And I will be back. I started a brand new week. It's going to be weekly for now on Sunday nights at probably 10:30. I started it at 11 before. I'm going to shift it to probably to 10:30 on Sunday nights. That's 10:30 Eastern Time. Drumsticks After Dark. So come join me Sunday night. That'll be weekly for the time being. And then my other stream, my other show, Let's Talk Turkey, will be back on March the 14th, as it is a bi-weekly show. And of course, Once Upon a Turkey Leg will be back next week. And I don't know what I'm reading. So you'll have to come back and we'll find out together. In the meantime, I may or may not have a video or two over the weekend. I have some clips that I think are postable. I got to look at them again. I might be able to put them up as shorts or something. Anyway, take care, and I will see you. I'll see you on the next stream. So, have a gobble-tastic night and a great weekend. May the force be with you. And